Do you ever wake up, sit by the window with your coffee, and think, where did the time go? Another day begins, and it looks just like the one before it. No plans. No excitement. Just the same quiet moments. The same familiar routine. And deep down, you might wonder, is this it? Is this really what the golden years are supposed to feel like? Or maybe you've noticed someone close to you. A parent, a partner, maybe even a dear friend. They used to smile more. They used to laugh louder. But now, they seem quieter, more withdrawn. They're not sick, not exactly. But something's different. The spark just isn't there the way it used to be. And that's when it hits you. Growing older doesn't mean we stop needing fun, connection, or purpose. In fact, now more than ever, it's essential. Not just to pass time, but to truly enjoy it. Because staying active, mentally, physically, emotionally, isn't just good advice. It's the difference between existing and living. That's why in this video, we're diving into 7 meaningful and fun activities that are perfect for seniors. Activities that spark joy, boost health, and bring back that sense of purpose. And I promise, number 4 might just surprise you, because it's something most people overlook, but it makes a massive difference in how you feel every single day. So, if you're ready to break the cycle of boring and bring life back into your days, or help someone you love do the same, stay right here. And while you're here, drop a comment below that says, "Living life," if you believe these years should be the best ones yet. And don't forget to subscribe to Healthy Senior Advice for weekly tips to help you live longer, stronger, and happier, starting today. Activity number 1. Gentle group exercise or chair yoga. Now, let's start with something that changes lives in small but powerful ways: movement. But I'm not talking about lifting heavy weights or running laps. Let me tell you about Eleanor. She's 74. For most of her life, she believed exercise was something for young folks. People in sneakers and sports bras, not someone with silver hair and a hip that gets cranky when the weather changes. But then, her daughter gently nudged her into trying a local chair yoga class, just once. That was all it took. Now Eleanor doesn't miss a session. She still does the same stretches, the same breathing exercises, sitting right there in her sturdy chair at the community center. And guess what? She walks more confidently. Her balance has improved. And for the first time in years, she's sleeping through the night without tossing and turning. You see, gentle group exercise, like chair yoga or light stretching with music, isn't about getting ripped. It's about moving your body in ways that feel good, keep your joints happy, and keep your blood flowing. It helps reduce the risk of falls. It boosts your mood naturally, better than any afternoon nap, and it helps keep your independence strong. Now here's the part where most people go wrong. They think, I'm too old. I'm too stiff. My knees hurt. I haven't exercised in decades. But that's exactly why starting now matters. You don't need to twist into a pretzel or break a sweat. Start seated. Stretch your arms. Breathe. Move at your own pace. There are wonderful routines available for free on YouTube. And senior centers? Many offer classes for all ability levels, with instructors who truly understand what older bodies need. And if you can do it in a group, even better. Laughter, companionship, and shared progress. That's therapy in itself. But movement isn't the only way to stay active. Sometimes it's about expressing yourself and letting your creativity come alive in the most unexpected ways. Activity number 2. Creative arts. Drawing, painting, crafts. Let me introduce you to Frank. Frank never held a paintbrush in his life. Not once. Not as a child. Not as an adult. He worked in a warehouse, raised 3 kids, retired quietly, and spent most of his evenings watching TV in the recliner. But something changed when he turned 80. His daughter gifted him a beginner watercolor set. Just something small, nothing fancy. And on a slow, rainy afternoon, he opened it up and dipped that brush into blue. That was 2 years ago. Now, his hallway is lined with paintings. Vibrant, calming, sometimes abstract, sometimes scenes from his childhood. He says it's like he discovered a new voice he never knew he had. You don't need to be good at art to enjoy it. That's one of the biggest misconceptions out there. It's not about talent. It's about expression. It's about giving your hands something to do, your brain something to focus on, and your heart a place to speak. And you know what? There's science behind it. Engaging in creative arts boosts brain function. It reduces stress. And it allows emotion to surface, especially when words feel hard to find. You can try drawing, painting, knitting, crafting, or even adult coloring books. They're calming, meditative, and they reconnect you with play. Remember that word? Play. It doesn't go out of style when you get older. Many community centers or senior programs offer low-cost or free art classes. Or you can start simple at home, even with just crayons and paper. Because it's not about what you create. It's about how you feel while you're creating it. And speaking of expression, let's talk about something that stirs the soul and brings back memories like nothing else can. Activity number 3. Music and dance. Music. It has this magical way of reaching places that words just can't. When the old 50s tunes come on in Margaret's living room, you'd think she was 25 again. Her eyes sparkle. Her shoulders sway. And when her granddaughter takes her hand and they start dancing in the kitchen, it's like watching joy in motion. That's the thing about music. It wakes something up inside us. It stimulates memory. It lifts the mood. It gets the body moving. Gently, naturally. And even if your feet don't work like they used to, your fingers can tap along. Your voice can hum. Your heart can still dance. Now I know what some people think. Oh, dancing is for the young. It's too embarrassing. What will people think? But listen, dancing isn't a performance. It's a celebration. And it can be as small as a sway in your chair or a shuffle in your slippers. You don't need to join a formal dance class, though many do exist for seniors, and they can be incredibly fun. You can start in your living room. Put on a favorite song from your teenage years. Let the memories flow. Let your body remember what joy feels like. Or, if dancing's not your thing, join a music group. Sing, listen, clap. Even music therapy sessions can bring incredible peace and connection, especially for those dealing with memory challenges. Because in the end, it's not about the notes, it's about the feeling they bring. But fun doesn't always have to be physical. Sometimes it's about using your mind in new ways, and we'll get to that next. Activity number 4. Brain games and puzzles. Now, not all activity has to involve your arms or legs. Sometimes, the most important movement is the kind you do right up here, in your mind. Let me tell you about George. He's 76, lives alone, and starts every single morning with 2 things, a warm cup of coffee, and a crossword puzzle. It's his ritual, his mental gym. He says it keeps his thoughts clear and his memory sharp, and honestly, it gives him something to feel proud of before 9 a.m. even rolls around. And the science backs him up. Simple brain games like puzzles, Sudoku, word searches, even matching games on a tablet, these aren't just ways to pass the time. They stimulate memory, sharpen focus, and help maintain cognitive health. Something that becomes more important as we age, not less. But here's the catch. A lot of people shrug these off. Oh, games are for kids. That's just busy work. I need something useful to do. But let me ask you this, what's more useful than protecting your brain? These games are like tiny workouts for your mind. And just like muscles, your brain needs exercise too. Especially if you want to keep it strong for the long haul. You can keep a small puzzle book in your living room. You can download apps like Lumosity or Elevate. Or, better yet, team up with a friend and challenge each other daily. A little friendly competition never hurts. And the best part? You can do this anytime. Morning, afternoon, before bed. It's your mind. Treat it like the treasure it is. And speaking of daily habits, did you know that having simple daily structure can be one of the most overlooked sources of happiness and peace? Let's talk about a beautiful activity that brings structure, peace, and joy. One that literally grows with you. Activity number 5. Gardening or plant care. Now picture this. Maria lives in a small apartment in the city. No backyard. No lawn. Just a little balcony with a railing and 2 chairs. But today, that tiny space, it's blooming. Tomatoes, basil, lavender. A few little succulents tucked in along the edge. It started with 1 pot, 1 plant, a gift from a neighbor. And over time, that balcony became her sanctuary. She says caring for her plants gave her a reason to get up early, to breathe in fresh morning air, to notice tiny things, new buds, the way the sun falls across the leaves, how a little water changes everything. Gardening, yes, even a small indoor version, gives you something meaningful to care for. And that matters more than you might think. It gently exercises your body, stretching, reaching, moving. It calms your mind, because you're focused on something simple and beautiful. And it connects you to nature, even if you're surrounded by concrete. Now, some folks will say, I don't have a green thumb. I live in an apartment. I kill every plant I touch. Let me tell you, you don't need a big yard. You don't even need to be good at it. Start small. A pot of mint in your kitchen window. A few herbs on the sill. Even a low-maintenance snake plant or peace lily on your nightstand can change the feel of your space and your mood. It's not about perfection. It's about purpose. Every day, you check in. You water. You prune. You pay attention. And in those quiet moments, you begin to notice something. You're not just helping the plant grow. You're growing, too. And now, let's talk about the one activity that checks every single box. Mind, body, and soul. The most human connection of all. Activity number 6. Volunteering and community involvement. You know, sometimes the best way to feel alive is to help someone else feel seen. Take Thomas, for example. He's 81. After retiring from a career in banking, he suddenly found himself with long, quiet days, and not always the good kind of quiet. He missed the energy of people, the conversations, the sense that what he did mattered. Then one day, on a whim, he signed up to read to kids at the local library. Just 1 hour, once a week. Now, he says it's the best hour of his entire week. The way those kids hang on his every word. How they laugh at the silly voices he does. And how, afterward, he walks out of that building with a full heart and a clear mind. Volunteering doesn't have to be grand or exhausting. It can be small, simple, and flexible. But what it does for your emotional well-being, that's huge. It gives you purpose, a sense of usefulness. And most importantly, it keeps you connected to people. And let's be honest, isolation is one of the biggest quiet battles in aging. Sometimes you don't even realize how much you've pulled back until someone invites you to step forward. Now sure, some folks believe volunteering is only for the young and energetic, or that it's a full-time commitment. But the truth is, there are so many low-effort, high-impact ways to give back. You can mentor a teen, answer phones at a community center, cuddle cats at an animal shelter, even just visiting someone else who's lonely. That, too, is an act of service. Because in giving your time, you gain something far more valuable: belonging. And speaking of value, let's finish strong with something that might feel quiet at first glance, but carries the loudest legacy of all. Activity number 7. Storytelling, journaling, or legacy projects. Here's something beautiful about growing older. You carry a life's worth of stories that no one else can tell. And somewhere, someone needs to hear them. That's what Diane realized when her granddaughter asked, "Grandma, what were you like when you were my age?" She didn't know where to begin. So she started writing, just a few sentences each day. Little memories, pieces of her childhood, advice, family traditions, even her biggest mistakes. A few months later, she had a stack of pages, and tears in her eyes. Because she realized she wasn't just writing for her grandkids. She was healing, reflecting, and seeing her life, messy, beautiful, complicated, as something worth honoring. Telling your story, through writing, voice recordings, photo albums, or even scrapbooks, can be one of the most powerful gifts you leave behind. It boosts your confidence. It helps process old emotions. And it reminds you, your life matters. Now, some people say, "Oh, my story isn't interesting," or "No one wants to hear about me." But let me tell you, that couldn't be further from the truth. Your ordinary days are someone else's treasured history. You can start small. What's my happiest memory? What was the hardest thing I ever overcame? What advice would I give my 20-year-old self? You don't need to write a book. You just need to start. And if you feel overwhelmed, try audio journaling. Just record yourself talking, like you're sharing with a friend. You'll be amazed at what comes out when you give yourself permission to remember. Because in the end, these activities, they're more than just hobbies. They're tools for living fully, for finding connection, creativity, movement, meaning, and yes, joy. And your golden years, they were made for this. Let's be honest for a moment. Sometimes, it's not easy to admit that you, or someone you care about, has slipped into a lonely, passive routine. Maybe the days started to feel all the same. Maybe you stopped making plans because your energy changed. Or maybe, it just felt safer to stay quiet, to pull back, to wait for life to knock on your door. And that realization, it can sting. It can feel like time slipping by, like the best years have already come and gone. But let me say this gently and clearly. That is not the truth. The truth is, your story is still unfolding. You're not too old to find joy. You're not too old to make a new friend, to start a new hobby, or to feel excited again. Every single day can carry meaning, if you choose to give it one. That's not wishful thinking. That's your power. And you don't have to overhaul your life overnight. Just pick one activity from today's list. Just one. Maybe it's a puzzle. Maybe it's writing one memory. Maybe it's stepping outside to water a plant. Or turning on music that makes you want to move. Try it. Feel it. See what happens. You might be surprised at how one small shift creates a spark. Because these golden years, they're not the end of the road. They're an invitation to live differently, with heart, with presence, with intention. So if you're listening right now, and part of you feels like maybe it's too late, I want you to hear me. It's not. It never is. You deserve to laugh, to move, to create, to connect, to wake up tomorrow and feel like you're living, not just passing time. And that choice, it's in your hands now. Let's quickly go over what we've explored together today. We talked about 7 simple, yet powerful activities, each one designed to help you stay mentally sharp, emotionally connected, and physically engaged. A gentle movement, like chair yoga or walking with friends. A creative outlets, like painting or crafting. The joy of music and dancing. A brain games that keep the mind young. A caring for plants or starting a small garden. A giving back through volunteering. And storytelling, preserving the wisdom of your life. All of these, they're more than just things to pass the time. They are pathways to purpose. Now I'd love to hear from you. Which of these speaks to your heart the most? Which one would you try or recommend to someone you love? Leave your answer in the comments below. You never know. Your comment might inspire someone else to take that first step, too. And if this video gave you even one helpful idea, I'd be honored if you'd consider subscribing to Healthy Senior Advice. Here, we're building a space where aging isn't feared, it's embraced. Where wisdom is honored. And where your well-being, physical, emotional, and spiritual, is our shared priority. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and join us as we continue learning how to live well, together. Thank you for being here. Truly. And as you go about the rest of your day, I hope you carry this with you. You are not invisible. You are not finished. And you are absolutely worthy of a life filled with joy, connection, and meaning. Take care of yourself. Be kind to yourself. And I'll see you, right here, on the next video. Stay strong. Stay active. And most importantly, stay you.